Hello class, this is a video tutorial on car maintenance costs. In this video we'll be looking at fuel consumption. A vehicle's fuel rating is the measure of its fuel usage over a given distance. The most common fuel rating is given as, fuel rating is equal to some number of liters for every or per 100 kilometers. By utilizing the unitary rate or unitary methods, we can calculate fuel ratings as well as expected fuel usage or distances traveled. So let's calculate the fuel rating of the following vehicles. A sedan traveled 750 kilometers on a 60-liter tank of petrol. So notice how we want to make it look like this one here. So our end goal is going to be something liters per 100 kilometers. So above each of them, I'm going to be writing the information that we've been given. So 60 liters per 750 kilometers. Now we want to make our way to 100 kilometers. For this, I'm just going to use the unitary rate, meaning I'm going to find 1 kilometer first and then multiply by 100. So from this, in order to do this, we're going to first bring ourselves down to 1. We do this by dividing this amount by the same number, so 750, and we're going to divide this side by the same amount as well, so divide by 750. So 60 divided by 750 is equal to 0.08 liters per 1 kilometer. And then from here, we can now find 100 kilometer by multiplying by 100 on both sides. So times 100 on both, so 0.08 times 100. This gives us a total of 8 liters per 100 kilometers. So this is the fuel rating that we were looking for. Let's repeat the same process here. A four-wheel drive had a 80 liter tank of fuel and traveled a distance of 1,176. So once again, we are looking for something that looks kind of like this. So let's write that down. So something liters per 100 kilometers. Well, let's write down the information that we've been given. So above the liters is 80, so 80 liters for every, we're given this distance, so 1176 kilometers. As we've seen in the previous example, we want 1 kilometer first, and to do this, we divide by 1176, and we do the same to this side here, dividing by 1176. Let's calculate that now. 80 divided by 1176. This gives us a really odd number, but regardless, let's write it down. 0.06802. Let's keep every number there. And then from here, we're going to multiply by 100 on both sides. So I'm going to take the full answer. In your case, for your calculator, you have the answer key times this by 100, which gives us 6.802. And I'm just going to round that off to 6.8, so 6.8 liters. So that's finding the fuel rate given the distance, given the distance and the fuel. Now, if we're given the fuel rating, we can figure out how many liters it would require to travel this amount, and you could also figure out how far it will go given the fuel. So let's do this with 8 examples. So let's get straight to it. So a car is rated at 8.5 liters per 100 kilometers. How many liters would be required to drive 200 kilometers? So let's arrange the question here. So let's start off with the information that we've been given. 8.5 liters per 100 kilometers. So how many liters, so in this case, how many liters, I'm going to write it down here, how many liters is required to drive this distance? So in this case, we're given 200 kilometers. In this instance, it's very easy to see. For 100 to become 200, we multiply by 2. Multiply by 2 as well. However, for the purposes of consistency, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using the unitary method again, because it's easy for all numbers and values. So for this, I'm going to find 1 kilometer. Let me just move this down one more time. I want to find 1 kilometer. So for 100 to become 1, we divide by 100, and we do the same to here. This will give, so 8.5 divided by 100. That's going to be 0.085. And now for 1 to become 200 kilometers, we multiply by 200, and we do the same to the other side of this expression. So 0.085 times 200. So it's going to be 17 liters, which is the same answer you would have gotten if we just multiplied by 2. Now you're going to see the value in finding the 1 kilometer first in this next example here. So let's start off again with the fuel rating we've been given, 8.5 per 100. So 8.5 liters per 100. And we'll bring this down to 1 kilometer first. So once again, dividing this by 8.5. It's kind of odd because it's going to be the same number as the previous one, 0.085 per 1 kilometer. And now we want 473 kilometers. In this case, we're going to be multiplying by 473. It's going to take this amount and multiply it by 473, which gives us 40.205. So 40.205 liters is required. This method will work for any distance that we want. So once again, we have 8.5 liters per 100 kilometers. That's the rate that we've been given. Let's find 1 kilometer, which we already know to be 0.085. And our end goal is 50 kilometers. So we multiply by 50. 0.085 times 50. That's 4.25 liters required. And one last example, starting off with the information that we have, bringing it down to 1 unit, so 1 kilometer, we already know it to be 0.085. That's the same number that we have for this example. Now we're going to multiply by 78 on both sides. 0.085 times 78. That's 6.63 liters for 78 kilometers. Now, for the purposes of this video, just so that we can vary the numbers a little bit, let's say that a different car, I was planning to use the exact same numbers, but let's say the different car is rated at, let's say it's going to be at 6.75 liters per 100 kilometers. Okay, how far could the car travel if the petrol tank had only 20 liters? Okay, I realize that this will fuzzy up the numbers a little bit, but it's still going to be the same. So let's take a look. Let's start off with the information that we have, 6.75 liters per 100 kilometers. And because our end goal is we want 20 liters, so we're given 20, so 20 liters is what we have, which means we're finding the distance, something kilometers. This is what we're looking for. So for this, very similar to the previous question, we're going to find 1 liter. We're going to do that by dividing by itself, dividing by 6.75 on both sides. So 100 divided by 6.75, it's going to give us 14.81481. And now, because we're told 20 liters, we're going to multiply both sides by 20. So I'll take this entire answer and multiply it by 20. That gives us 296.3. Rounding, I'll just show you what I see in the calculator. It's going to be 296.296. Because it's this, we're going to round off to 3. So 296.30 kilometers. Can you see the similarities in methods? Let's do this again. So let's start off with the original value, 6.75 liters per 100 kilometers. Let's find 1 liter first, which we already know because it's going to be the same value. So 14.81481. And this time we're given 35 liters, which will tell us the distance that we require. So let's write that in. 14.81481 times 35. This is giving us 518.52 kilometers. And this continues on in the exact same method. Let's just finish this off. So 6.75 liters per 100 kilometers. That's the given rate. Let's find 1 liter, which we already know to be 14.81481. 14.81481. Now let's multiply this by 2 on both sides. So instead of 35, multiplying by 2. This gives us 29.63 kilometers. That's our answer there. And I hope you're seeing the similarities in all these examples. So 6.25 liters per 100 kilometers. We already know that 1 liter is 14.81481. We're going to multiply this by 4.25. So instead of 2 times 4.25. So 4.25 liters gets us 62.96 kilometers. So I hope that gave you an insight into the fuel rating, as well as utilizing the fuel rating to find different volumes of petrol and the distance required from a given amount of petrol. Hope to see you in the next video. Best of luck.